In the old days, they had to wait to have sex until the honeymoon. And we know that women are all about the wedding. You know, it's very unusual if you find a guy who really cares what color centerpieces you have and what color napkins you use, or basically any of the 12,000 moving parts that my friends in the event business have to think about. But the sad truth is that very few people know about marriage. You know, I've been working with you guys and people all over the world for a long, long time. And if some people know about honeymoons and some people know about weddings, it is really sad that even with people who have college degrees, advanced degrees, people who've been working on themselves decades, they just don't know about marriage. So please watch all of our other shows that deal with marriage. Tonight we're just talking about the proposal. Empathy is a state which I had to learn and which Gigi always knew. But the proof is you can learn it, so here I am. And when you become very empathetic, you immediately figure out what somebody else's needs are. And the fastest way to motivate anybody to do anything is to figure out what their needs are. It doesn't matter what you want to motivate them to do. If you don't understand their needs, you're not going to be able to meet their needs. You're not going to be able to talk about meeting their needs. In fact, you're not even going to be able to appear to be interested in them. So the key is learning my 6-part conversation, and where you need to begin focusing is on empathy for your partner. And thank you, Fred, for putting that up on the screen. And what are their needs? Well, for some, it's aesthetics. They need somebody who's really beautiful. So you either are or you're not. And there's only so much that you can do even with an unlimited plastic surgery budget. Some people need you to be very intelligent. You either are or you're not, though again, you can make improvements. Here's where you can make a lot of improvements: how kind you are, how sweet you are, how nice you are, how cooperative you are. Then, no matter what you look like, if you learn about wardrobe and fashion, you can really make a difference in how you appear. And what was interesting for me is most of the guys that I dated usually were dating models, or they were dating incredibly beautiful women, which I never was. But I knew how to pull myself together, and with the right hair, the right makeup, the right wardrobe, and I had a great body, I was just lucky, then I could pull it off. So it's a question of what can you do to enhance yourself, what can you do to evolve so that you become someone who's irresistible to as many potential partners as possible. They don't know what they're doing to find one. I mean, how could I get people to be so successful in relationships and find fabulous partners? How could I do that, right? And most of them I never meet. Most of them are only talking to me on the phone. Well, it's a skill set like anything else. You can teach most people to play a decent game of tennis or a decent game of golf, or do most things with their body as long as they've got 2 arms and 2 legs and they're fairly coordinated. You're never going to make most people into a great tennis player or a great golfer, but you can make them into someone who can play the game. That's what we're talking about. You need to learn certain skills. You need to be willing to understand what I teach and see what it is you honestly don't know. So the question is commitment. How committed are you to doing what you need to do to have this particular result, called falling in love with someone who falls in love with you, and you both decide to spend the rest of your life together? It did happen. That summer, 2 men really did propose to me on first dates. And what it takes is to find a guy who wants to get married, who's looking for a wife. So if you're dating someone who's not looking to get married and not looking for a wife, then that's something that you forgot to factor into the equation. Because if you only date men who are looking to get married, then you're going to get a marriage proposal pretty quickly, but maybe not as fast as I did. So I met this guy at an EST event, if any of you remember EST, which is now Landmark Forum. And he was an attractive guy and I think a dentist in Connecticut. and I lived in New York City, and he asked me out, and I said, great. And so we had a dinner date, and he took me to a lovely restaurant. The waiter asked what we'd like to drink, and we each ordered a glass of wine. And as the waiter delivered the big, beautiful wine goblet to each of us, he started to stand up. And I said to him, please don't. He said to me, you have no idea what I'm going to do. I said, I do. He said, how could you possibly know what I'm going to do? I was going to propose to you. I said, yes, I know, and please don't. Now, how in the world did I know, right? There's just a look that they get on their face. I can't say anything else, but if you'd had 16 men propose to you, you would know. There's a look. It's the look. And if you don't want that look on that guy's face, then you've got to do the nice thing and prevent him from getting down on one knee. There's no benefit to letting a man get down on one knee if you don't want him to propose to you. Do anything you can to keep him in his chair, because it's the right thing to do. Don't want to embarrass anybody, because he will one day propose to somebody else. So you don't want to ruin this experience for him, okay? So be kind. That's the number one thing.